This is not love. Today I'll share what no one tells you about romantic love since we've been led to think it's the highest form of a relationship. But what if I told you that romantic love isn't love but ego? Projecting your wounds, today I want to reveal to you a powerful truth that can completely transform the way you relate to others. This isn't about fairy tales. This is about real love, about growth and awareness. Listen to this until the end, because you might stop repeating the same old pattern. For example, Sylvia Congos tells us that what we call romantic love is often emotional dependency in disguise. We cling to someone because we believe that person will complete us, but if you feel like you can't live without the other person, that's not love, that's inner emptiness. Enric Corvera, for example, tells us something deeper about what romantic love is. It's the unconscious projection of our unresolved shortcomings. Ever wonder why you're drawn to the same type of people? Because the unconscious doesn't judge, it just repeats stories, emotions, and unresolved dynamics with your father or your mother, and it does so looking for one thing only, for you to heal. So what do we do with romantic love? We idealize, we expect the other person to make us happy, to value us, to not leave us. But that expectation only brings frustration and resentment because the other person can never give you what you're not giving yourself. Conscious love, on the other hand, doesn't need to control or change the other person. It doesn't demand, it doesn't punish. True love begins when you stop projecting and start observing yourself when you're with someone. Not so they can save you, but so you can grow together. Accept their light, yes, but also their shadow, and make it possible that they've worked on themselves a bit so that their shadow isn't so big or so extensive. As Enric Corvera says, your partner is a treasure, because without the other person you couldn't get to know yourself. So stop looking for your other half. You are already a complete being, and when two complete people meet, dependence doesn't arise, freedom does. This is true love, the one that is born from respect, friendship, and commitment to oneself. Now tell me, are you willing to stop repeating relationships and start loving consciously? Two people who are growing will be able to change and move forward. So write in the comments, I choose conscious love, and if you know someone who needs to hear this, share it. It will do them a lot of good. People fall in love with you for these two reasons, and they're not what you think. Let's see, have you ever wondered about it? I'm not talking about something superficial, I'm talking about that deep, almost magical attraction that can't even be explained. Carl Gustav Jung, one of the greats, says that people fall in love for only two reasons, and neither has anything to do with your looks or your personality. Jung's first reason is that you represent something the other person lacks but urgently needs. Maybe you're free, spontaneous, brave, and that person doesn't dare to be. They see you and feel, that's what I'm missing. So, it's a projection of the unconscious. They look for in you what they haven't developed in themselves. The second reason is even deeper. You embody an inner image that already existed within them. In every man lives a feminine archetype, the anima. In every woman, a masculine archetype, the animus. And when someone crosses your path and you awaken that archetype, the attraction is immediate, it's intense, and it's irrational. But here comes the big lesson. They don't fall in love with you for who you are, but for what you represent in their inner world. So you are the mirror. A reflection of what they long for, sometimes a reflection of what they fear. And that's why many intense relationships end with a broken heart. Because they didn't love the real person, but the projected image. And when that image falls apart, so does the illusion. So next time someone falls in love with you, ask yourself, am I their mirror, am I their shadow, or am I their teacher? And even more importantly, think about who you are falling in love with, a real person or someone you've forgotten about yourself and are projecting onto the other. Carl Jung used to say that love is not about finding someone who completes you. It's about discovering yourself through your relationships. Because true love doesn't seek to fill voids, but to help you grow and evolve together. Write below in the comments, I evolve with the love of my life. How do you emotionally detach from someone and regain your power? Have you ever felt that no matter how hard you try, you just can't let go of that person who keeps occupying your mind, your emotions, and even your energy? You know the relationship isn't healthy, that it causes you more pain than peace, but just one word, one memory, or one image is enough to fall back into the same emotional whirlwind. If this has happened to you, you're not alone. Today I'm going to show you why it's so hard to detach emotionally from someone and how to start on the path to true detachment. A path that doesn't mean stopping loving, but rather regaining your inner freedom. But why is it so hard for us to let go? Emotional attachment, does it have deep roots? It's not just about missing someone. Many times that person fills the space of something we feel we're missing in ourselves. We project security, love, or validation onto the other person. It's also possible that we're creating an idealization, seeing them as perfect or irreplaceable, and on top of that, our mind tries to protect us. It invents a story. For example, without that person, I can't be happy. So the result is that we get trapped in a cycle of dependence, intense highs when that person gives us attention, and painful lows when they pull away. But the truth is this: you have the power over your emotions, right? The other key to emotional detachment is that detachment doesn't mean coldness, but emotional maturity. Here are 4 powerful steps. 1. Recognize your projection. Ask yourself, what am I really looking for in this person? Is it love or is it filling an internal void? This questioning is the beginning of detachment. 2. Break the idealization. See him as a real human being with flaws and limitations. He is not a magical figure nor the only source of your happiness. 3. Reconnect with yourself. Discover who you are outside of the relationship. Take up your passions, projects, hobbies again. Learn to enjoy your own company. 4. Practice self-compassion. Letting go is neither easy nor quick. Will there be ups and downs? Don't punish yourself, don't judge yourself. Every step you take is an act of self-love. Emotionally detaching isn't about loss, but regaining yourself. It's about making space in your heart for new opportunities, new relationships, and above all, a deeper connection with yourself. Remember, true detachment isn't about saying I don't feel anything anymore. It's about saying I choose my peace, I choose my freedom, and I choose to love myself. Enough to not depend on anyone to be happy. Now tell me in the comments, which of these 4 steps are you going to start practicing today? Write it down, because by declaring it, that's the first step to making it real, and it sticks more in your mind. The 6 questions that create a real connection with the woman you're attracted to. If you've ever gone blank while talking to a woman, it's not because you don't know what to say, it's because you don't know what to ask. Also, when you're trying to get to know someone new, it's more normal to get nervous and freeze up. Well, it's not about impressing, it's about truly connecting from the heart. The best conversations don't come from brilliant lines, they come from genuine curiosity. When you feel that the woman in front of you is very attractive, it's much easier to freeze up. Therefore, a little mental preparation beforehand that doesn't go against your authenticity can be helpful. It's normal to be nervous, and if you've had some bad relationships in the past, you might even feel a lot of fear. Here are 6 simple questions that open up connection, depth, and help you see if there's real compatibility, and open your heart a little more. You can ask him, what is a normal day like for you? Way better than asking about someone's job. It shows you their lifestyle, their pace, their energy. Question number 2. What are you most passionate about right now? When someone talks about what they love, they relax, open up, and show who they really are. Question number 3. What did you like most about the place where you grew up? This connects them with their story, their childhood, with their emotional roots. Don't ask too many of these questions. You want to be their partner, not their therapist. Do you like to travel, or is there a place you'd love to go to right now? This question reveals the journeys of their life and moves their heart. How do you like to spend your weekends? Here you find out if your lifestyles match or if you're going down very different paths. Question 6. What would you like to learn or improve at this stage? This question shows maturity, self-awareness, and a growth mindset. Don't throw these questions out like it's a test or a police interrogation. You have to relax, you have to listen carefully, go deeper, also share something about yourself. Connection is not about interrogating, it's about feeling comfortable being yourself. When you ask from a place of presence and authenticity, you don't need to impress anyone. The connection happens on its own. When you practice active listening, you'll already feel like you're really paying attention. And if after 2 weeks you remember what she told you, well, you'll impress her. Write down here below. I prefer real conversations over impressing someone, especially over impressing someone falsely. 3 things that make you less attractive to women. Today I'm going to tell you something that almost no one dares to say, and that explains why many men don't generate attraction. even if they're good, even if they're polite, even if they have good intentions. First thing, not being authentic when you try too hard to be liked, when you filter what you say, when you act differently depending on who you're with. Women notice it instantly. You can't afford not to be authentic. Many times we're not authentic because we're afraid of rejection, we want to be liked, but attraction is born when you're natural, not perfect, when you're real. If you're not yourself, how can there be chemistry with anyone? Will there be chemistry with the person you're pretending to be? Second thing, lack of decisiveness. Doubting all the time, saying I don't know, whatever you want, as you prefer. That's not kindness, that's lack of direction. Women are attracted to men who take initiative, who make choices, who take a stand, even if they make mistakes sometimes. Indecision conveys insecurity, and insecurity kills a woman's desire. Insecurity extinguishes attraction. Third thing, fear of rejection. When you speak with fear, when you're worried about the consequences of everything you say, you don't show yourself naturally and authentically. You're asking for permission to exist. When you adapt yourself so you don't bother others, you're asking for permission to exist. The problem isn't rejection, the problem is living your life trying to avoid it. An attractive man doesn't need to be liked by everyone. An attractive man shows himself and accepts the outcome calmly. If you're afraid of rejection, this is going to make life harder for you in general in everything you do. Many times we don't understand why we're rejected. Well, insecurity isn't the absence of fear, it's acting in spite of fear. And now tell me and write in the comments the following phrase. Today I choose to be authentic and determined. It's not good to be too anxious or pushy, and it's also not good to have low self-esteem or to idealize the other person too much. Books have saved my life on many occasions and have helped me out of all my problems, so I advise you to read books, starting with mine, of course, Manual of Conscious Wealth, which gives you simple and easy instructions for living. Each year, better than the last. See you soon. 5 clear signs that a woman is not interested in you. I wanted to say something that many men urgently, quickly, and importantly need to hear. Look, when a woman is interested in you, it's obvious, and when she's not, it's also obvious. Here are 5 clear signs that a woman is not really interested in you. Even if you want to think she is, she's not. Sign number 1. She's more focused on her phone than on you. If when she's with you, she looks at her phone, replies to messages, or seems distracted, it's not shyness, it's a lack of connection with you. When there's interest, there's presence. Sign number 2. In these cases, you have to keep in mind that the woman may respond sporadically and without any intention of extending the conversation. She also sends short messages, without questions, without continuity, and there comes a point where you don't know what to talk about. Because they don't give you any momentum, they don't keep the conversation going because she doesn't try either. So can 2 people talk? If one doesn't show interest, you can tell by the effort. Sign 3. She doesn't give you nicknames, doesn't create an emotional bond, and doesn't give you communication. Nicknames, inside jokes, and shared references are natural ways to create a connection. If those aren't there, usually there's no emotional involvement. Sign 4. She only reaches out to vent, not to share. She calls you to tell you about her problems, but not to ask about your life, your plans, or your ideas. So, in this case, you can also see that there's not much interest or presence there. It means you're not an option, but rather an emotional support. And she leans on you because she can, because you've allowed her to. Sign 5. She doesn't try to see you and doesn't accept your invitations either. There are always excuses. She cancels at the last minute. There's never any initiative, and the chances to meet up just never come up. When someone wants to see you, they find the time. Listen to this carefully. A woman's lack of interest isn't fixed by insisting, it's achieved by stepping back. Attraction is born from respect, not from chasing. Now tell me in the comments which of these signs has happened to you the most. And remember this, don't chase attention, become someone who is chosen. Write the following phrase in the comments so that by writing it you connect better with the message of this video, which is, I choose myself and I stop chasing those who don't choose me. She pretended to be a man to understand them and was never the same again. A woman decided to do something that almost no one would dare to do. She pretended to be a man for more than a year to understand from the inside what it really means to be a man in our society today. And what she discovered was not power. It was not a privileged situation of men living fantastically well and free, and having everything above all. She discovered loneliness and paid a high price for doing this role, this experiment. Who was this person and why did she do it? Well, this woman was Nora Vincent, a journalist, writer, and a convinced feminist. She believed, like many others, that men lived with invisible advantages, with endless privileges, that men's lives were much easier. So she decided to check it in the most radical way possible. She created a male persona, changed her voice, her posture, her way of walking, looking, speaking, and entered typically male spaces. What she found in many cases was emotional disconnection. Men who didn't touch each other when interacting, and often not even with their partners. Men who didn't listen to each other from the heart. Men who couldn't show sadness, fear, or vulnerability. Ideally, women shouldn't need to do these experiments. It's better for them to enjoy their femininity and for men to enjoy their masculinity. But, well, we found men who only received respect if they were strong and successful. From psychology, we know something key. Human beings need connection, emotional validation, and belonging to maintain mental health. But many men grow up with a very clear mandate, and sometimes it's a bit off from what is actually good for us. Things like hold it in, don't cry, don't bother others with your problems, and if you do, you're a sissy. Nora Vincent, started to fall apart inside. She explained it herself later. Being a man was the hardest experience of my life. That's what she said. One of the conclusions we reached is that men need to be educated. They need to be educated in a very different and more conscious way, from a young age. Many men may be experiencing some of the following things in their normal lives, and no one explains why and no one does anything about it. They may feel constant pressure to prove their worth, a lack of support when they fail, the feeling of being loved only if they produce, all of this. It triggered deep anxiety and depression symptoms in Nora Vincent, and she ended up needing psychiatric help. But the experiment isn't exactly the most accurate either, because from my point of view, the science is clear. The human nervous system is not designed to live in emotional or physical affective isolation. And here comes the great paradox. Many conflicts between men and women arise from the misunderstanding of the true meaning of a couple, which is a bond to heal and build conscious wealth. Couples become impoverished when they don't understand the true meaning of the bond. Couples lose focus, lose meaning, and then they're not on the right path. 3 mistakes that make you feel weak as a man, and almost no one warns you about them. Look, many men believe that insecurity appears because they're missing something. Many men feel insecure because they think they're lacking money, success, recognition. But the truth is different. Insecurity appears when you move away from who you are. Today I'm going to tell you 3 silent mistakes that destroy your inner strength and your attractiveness. And they do it without you even realizing it. So pay attention to what I'm going to tell you. Mistake number 1. Living while waiting for something external to validate you. You think you'll be better and have a better situation when you earn more, when you have a partner, when you achieve this or that. This leaves you trapped in the future in a situation you don't have yet, and a man who isn't present loses his center. Security doesn't come from the outcome, it comes from acting in alignment with yourself. Today. Mistake number 2 is to stop being authentic in order to please others, to stop being yourself, to keep quiet about what you think, to adapt so you don't bother anyone, to put on the nice guy mask. That's not maturity, that's fear of rejection and sustained fear. It shuts you down inside. Strength appears when you allow yourself to be real, even if there are many people who don't like you. Mistake number 3 is living without direction, without a purpose, without something that gets you out of bed with determination. A man without purpose gets scattered, compares himself, gets lost. Masculine energy is activated when you serve something greater than your own comfort. And now I want you to tell me, which of these mistakes are you going to stop making today? Write it here in the comments, and by writing it in the comments, you will make a commitment to yourself because you are making that commitment public. You can also write phrases down here that connect with this, like today I regain my center and my direction. You can write phrases down here like today I regain my center and my direction. That way you align yourself with the message of this video.